Right, here we are then, we're back on the stream. And hoping that we can actually get ourselves into the lobby this time around, because if not, I'm going to fully give up and just vomit myself off a bridge at this point. Because it is rather annoying. And yeah, I know I'm joining Toss, you impatient Neanderthal. We're in and we're ready and we're hopefully going to get ourselves underway after a very, very long wait. And the other race could have been done by now and we could be off to bed after a very long, tiring day, but nonetheless. Let's hope. So here we are then, readying up for the second race of the evening. So here we are then, clock's ticking down as we now line ourselves up. And hopefully, oh golly gosh, has Toss set up the grid properly? That's going to be the true testament as to how quickly this has been set up. It was quite quick. Toss, I'm going to make sure. Toss, have you set up the... Oh, this is going to be interesting. So, I think he has actually done it. 10 seconds then as we're counting down. Just wait for Dace to ready up this time around and hopefully it doesn't glitch out the lobby. 1 second in, and 1 second now as we head to the grid then. Watch it be wet, just to add a little bit more salt into the wound. No, it's clear skies and sunshine for the race today in Brazil. The reverse grid race number 2 of round number 2 for the CCR Nations Cup. Round 2 of 3. Waiting for players though, that's not the sign we want to see, and I think if it happens one more time I might as well, yeah, I'm gonna throw the game just away, gone, just bin it, absolutely, just get rid of it forever. Even though my job essentially, well, I say job, my partial financial gain of commentary will be partially ruined by it. I'm sure I'll manage and find some PC leagues to go and do. Come on, Team GB. That's the spirit. That's the patriotism we like to see from everyone. So. There we go then, here we are, starting up. There's the timer, clicks down 2-0 as we finally find our way. And there we go then, green for the formation lap. And has he set it up right? He's on pole, which makes sense. He was the final finisher, wasn't he? After penalties. So weaving around then, 18 laps ahead of us. What tyres are they all starting on? Do they know something we don't? Is there going to be a bit of rain or something? A lot of the field on the mediums. Toss, Stuart Little, Dace and Tiny Dark Spike all opting for the softs, whereas everyone else have just gone for that yellow stripe medium tyre. Going to go longer in the race and go to the softs later on. On a lighter car, and hopefully should be good. But the thing is if there's an early safety car, they're going to be a little bit caught out, to say the very least. So, rounding off the formation lap then, Toss will lead us round. Oh, that's a spin. There's that Dobby Lee around again. It is. It very much is. Get the bottles out now, is the advice I'll give to him, so he doesn't do them over the course of the next 18 laps around Interlagos. Do it on the formation lap as he slots in behind everyone else. At the back of the field, can I just take a moment before the race start just to appreciate how toxic the Formula 1 community can be? I put out a TikTok of me commentating while driving, and people find every little detail they can to try and criticise it. Like, oh, your ERS management is something, or oh, what was it? Oh, I said neither of us will back out, and I have a slide up Eau Rouge going side by side with him, and apparently it looks as though I've backed out, which is funny, but nonetheless, 5 red lights now here for a short run, a short blast towards turn 1 in Interlagos. Race number 2 is underway and racing. It's a great start from Cali Rob, who already pulls alongside now, coming towards turn 1. Toss, though, manages to maintain the lead. Further back, it's going to start kicking off. They're all ghosted, and I don't think they're ghosted on their screen. Up the inside goes the Alpine of Exotic to get himself into P3, and now looking to put that pressure onto Cali Rob as the tower is going to slowly start sorting itself out. Here's Exotic then looking to the inside. That's the Red Bull of New Jersey already out of this race. He's not managed to collect anyone else this time around, and a VSC has been brought out already in this race. A virtual safety car not going to be upgraded to a full course, well, it's already a full course, but a full safety car as Stein picks himself up a 5-second time penalty for a severe collision. Which hopefully can get itself back in as quickly as possible, and we can get ourselves back under green flag racing, because that was a pretty good start nonetheless. Toss the spinner, it's coming home. Nations Cup's coming home. Fingers crossed. We've got well, Toss is not representing the team GB or the team UK at all, so we've got to rely on Domily to get himself through the field. But the VSC still in. Toss in P1, yeah. Well, we've got different fans in the chat. Here we go then. When is the safety car? Well, the VSC going to be deployed back in. As I think, actually, are they back under green flag racing? They are. No, we are now back under green flag racing. It's a good restart from Toss ahead of Cali Rob and Exotic, with the cool guy, AA Gaming and Stuart Little now running side by side through turn 3. Look at them. How close do they want to get? AA Gaming's been sent off into the wall, sent flying into the moon, as he has retired from the session, going straight into the barrier and out of the Brazilian Grand Prix after contact with the McLaren sent him very, very wide and off the track. As Stein gets himself into P6 with Domily into P7. Support from Bulgaria, well, it's not going to be very long lasting because he's out of the race. With Stuart Little chasing after P4, Toss comfortably leading the way up in front. Still yellow flags through sectors 1 and 2. Cali Rob in P2, followed by Exotic, who can't quite put the pressure on at the moment. Kachow, you are very much right. You did jinx him with Stein leaving the session. Whether he's lagged out, oh no, he's had a crash and he's just left because why not? There's no point carrying on. Stuart Little though looking to the right hand side of Cool Guy, who moves over. Stuart Little then pulling to the left hand side, gets himself up the inside on those soft compound tyres. Should in theory be quicker, but he can't quite scratch himself ahead. Toss sets the fastest lap at 1:08.3 is the benchmark to beat for the fastest lap point. Stuart Little dives it to the inside, gets it stopped around the outside, tries Cool Guy, can't quite get the move done as Domily is now starting to close in on this fight. DRS will be enabled, that drag reduction system, to aid the drivers on their bid to overtake. Domily now looking to get past the Mercedes, the Briton looking to gain an extra position, doesn't know where to go, looks to the inside, can't quite get the move done though, can't be quite committed under brakes. Dace right behind this fight as well, could be a quite interesting one for P4, spanning all the way back to P7. Domily, though, putting that pressure on the Mercedes, who's putting that pressure on the McLaren in front. So it could be quite spicy. Domily representing Team GB, and no British bias here at all whatsoever. But come on, Domily, do it for us. At least give the Brits something to be happy about after the well, what has been a pretty catastrophic year for all of the people in not just the UK, well, I say mainly England. I don't think the Scots or the Irish or the Welsh really care, but for the English, we need you to do well, Dommy. We need you to do it for us all. Ajurdi's had a bit of an incident. Tosh goes even quicker on those soft compound tyres, extending the gap. Here's Dommy looking for the move, but can't quite find himself, get close enough, and he's used up a lot of that energy recovery system in doing so. Stuart Little now closing on the back of Exotic. This could be a podium fight between these 5 drivers. And Tiny Dancebike as well could get involved. Gaming's left the session, fair enough. Cool Guy goes defensive. Dommy Lee pulling to the right hand side, tries it around the outside, does indeed keep his foot in, goes off the track to get it done. Dace now invited up the inside because he's gone a little bit too wide. Now up the hill towards turn 6 is the Aston Martin going to go for it. He does, keeps it on the inside. The Williams now around the outside, still wheel to wheel, gets the move done in towards turn 8. Still side by side, but those soft compound tyres on the Williams are just going to help him get his way through because of that superior grip. I think Domily might just want to sit behind and try and use him to find his way through. That's a spinner. That's Stuart Little into the barrier off of turn number 10 in towards 11 and 12, which is a shame, because he was driving quite well, but that's a free position for Domily. Dace, though, on the back of Cool Guy. This is now still a very enthralling battle as they come on to lap number 5. Dace then pulling and finding the space on the left hand side, and gets the move done down the inside. The Aston Martin of Domily fancies to go as well. Going to send it up the inside. It's going to be the outside for turn number 2, but it's going to be the inside for turn number 3. He keeps the foot in, still going to run side by side. Bit of contact between the two. No harm done, though. They're both going to have DRS. Cool Guy edges his way ahead and stays into P5 as we approach a third of the way through this race. Domily can't quite find the speed as Cool Guy picks himself up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings very, very quickly, very, very early on. Domily still there, he's got the pace, just can't quite convert into an overtake. Dace, though, on those soft compound tyres, very, very quick, matching the pace of Toss at the very least, and is charging after this podium, 2 seconds off P2, but it's important that he maximises this first stint while these soft tyres are still quick, and while those medium runners are going to be slower than them. It gets to the point where they will start to drop off a little bit. Domily, though, surely should get past Cool Guy, who defends, but Domily goes wide and then cuts in for the inside as soon as he sees the gap and gets ahead before the corner, and up into P5 goes the Aston Martin, now looking to set his sights forward and chase after Exotic, and Dace in front. Exotic as well, he's going to have the DRS, not quite got the ERS to attack his fellow American down towards turn 4. But close enough to stay with him. Cool Guy, though, coming back at Domily. They're going to run side by side through turn number 4. Dace has been tapped round. Vert has retired from the session through the CNRS. Not going to be a full course caution. No, indeed it is. It's going to be a full-blown safety car, and this could blow the pit lane into absolute turmoil. Will Toss come into the pit lane? Will Dace come into the pit lane? And will the medium runners chance it for softs? We will definitely find out, shan't we, in just a moment's time. So, full course safety car, full on safety car has been brought out. So into the pit lane comes Dace, and comes the entire field pretty much. It's a very busy pit lane. Will Toss come out in front? He's onto the medium tyres. Oh, Toss having to wait off for the safety car, goes past it. laps 18. And hopefully, shouldn't be too long. I mean, we've got Stein at the backside, of course, because his AI is going to be a lot slower than he is. Hopefully, I mean, under the safety car, Stein could well and truly just join back and retake control of his AI, and then jobs are good and he's back in and back within a chance. So, never retire if you're going to rage quit a race, guys. Always let your AI drive, because you never know when a safety car is going to be deployed. You could find... Never know when there's going to be a safety car. So, still safety cars out. We're waiting for 3 more drivers to close the gap, but Toss is going to be absolutely scared on those medium tyres. He's got, well, 4 soft runners behind him, then a medium, then the rest of them on softs chasing after him on his bid for his first win for the Nations Cup, and definitely the first win I've ever seen Toss get. The highest finish I've ever commentated on Toss was that P4 in Sochi, after only about 10 people ended up finishing the race. But no discredit to him, he does well. And it's very rare that you see him in these podium positions, so let's hope he can do relatively well for the remainder of this race. Still a long way to go. So hopefully safety cars in this lap, because we're not at sector 3 just yet and everyone is here, so it should be safety car in. Toss going to lead us all the way to the timing line, and we can get ourselves back under green flag running for the final half of this race. Safety car is in fact in this lap. So Jerdy with a 5-second penalty for contact with either Dace or Tiny Darkspark, one of the two, but Toss weaving around, getting that final bit of temperature into those tyres before we head off then for the restart in the final half of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Race 2 of round number 2 of the Nations Cup is back underway. Green flag racing. It's a great start from Exotic, who already pulls to the left hand side of Cadirob. Can't quite complete the overtake towards turn 1. Backs off in fact, with Domi Lee looking up the inside to get himself onto the podium. These soft compound tyres are going to be absolute wonders for him. On the inside though is Cool Guy. They make a little bit of contact, but Domi Lee stays ahead as they all funnel their way through the center S's and onto this back straight then for the first time off the restart. Exotic putting the pressure on Cadirob. Toss gets a really good restart. This is the best restart he could have hoped for. These soft tyre runners squabbling amongst themselves rather than working together and chasing after him, and this is going to be perfect. He needs Exotic, Domalee and all of them to start battling more so that he can pull the gap and pull away and have a bit of a breather at the front, but Cadirob not having any of it and closing the gap, bridging the gap very slowly. Of course, no DRS until 3 laps after the safety car comes in. And into the penultimate corner for the first time. Toss under pressure from Cadirob. Then could we see a change of the race lead? Both have their batteries refull. Toss not using his ERS in fact, and Cadirob using it, relying on it. Could we see a change of the race lead? Those soft compound tyres are really going to help him. Toss goes to the middle of the track to defend. Cadirob on the outside. It'll be the inside for turn 2. If he can go all the way around the outside, Toss giving him a really good fight, and it's going to be the inside for turn 3. He's going to fight it all the way. Not got the good run for another, and there's contact with the rear right, rear left of Cadirob, and that's Toss being sent spinning and drifting away, and that's another bottled win as he retires from this session and is out of the Brazilian Grand Prix from a fight for the race lead to 0 in a matter of seconds. Domalee now running side by side for P2 around the outside of turn 6 and 7. Gets it done. Does he? Yes, he does. His Exotic goes a little bit sideways. Back up the inside of turn 8 though. Keeps it there. But the Aston Martin going to claim that position and on a bid for P1. So 8/10 the gap between the two leaders. with DRS now going to be enabled this lap. Domily has wasted a lot of DRS though, which is going to be vital in defending this position and also advancing forwards. He will have the DRS of Cali Rob in front though. DRS open then, propelling himself down this back straight towards turn 4. No one going to go for a move in the top 3. They're all going to single file their way through. Now through turn 6 and 7 towards 8. Very, very close to top 3. So that's a lot of understeer from the Alpine of Exotic. Really, really not having a good time in the dirty air at all, is he? And on to lap 12, Domily, or have a quick look who actually set the fastest lap there. It was Domily that in fact set the fastest lap on his bid to chase down the race leader of Cali Rob. So through the long left-hander and towards the penultimate corner. Again, sorry if I'm taking prolonged breaks in between things. There's just not a lot to say because no one's really going for much. Stuart Little on the back of Jurdy though. We'll try and give it everything for the final third of this Grand Prix. But yeah, very much tired after the 6 hours of Spa earlier on. It did take a lot out of me. Dominique closing though for the race lead. Will be nice for Team GB down the inside. A bit of a half-hearted attempt from the Alfa Romeo, who looks to get himself into the top 4. Let's have a quick look at how penalties stack up as well. 5 seconds for Cali Rob as Domily is going for a move for the race lead on the inside of turn 4. Gets it done, but he's running out of DRS, so Cali Rob can come right back at him, so he wish. And he's going to go for it maybe up the hill towards turn 6 and 7. Domily really having to park the bus here, but gets himself in front. And of course, Cali Rob needs to get in front and pull 2 seconds in order to win this race with 6 laps left remaining. Lap 13 of 18, around about 5.5 laps. And now that I think about it, 5 and maybe a quarter laps left to go in this Grand Prix. And, it's Domily that leads away from Cali Rob and Exotic. The Brits gunning for it after a pretty poor but promising showing in the USA. And Stuart Little gets himself into P5, into the final corner. DRS engaged then for Exotic, who's looking to get past his fellow American. Pulls to the left-hand side. He hasn't quite got the ERS to actually go for the move, but he could be good enough under brakes. Not quite going to be able to go for it. So the top 3 staying as they are in towards turn 1, 2 and 3. But it can all change towards turn 4. Jurdy going for the counter-attack on Stuart Little, having a nice little battle here, side by side, all the way through the centre S's. And oh no, Jurdy's been sent off again. Contact on the inside has cost that. That's a fight for the race lead. Around the outside goes Domily and Cali Rob trying to get up the inside, but not wasting too much ERS in doing so. So still putting the pressure on and keeping that battery alive. The best battery of the bunch at the top 3. The Alpine looking very feisty in trying to get past the Alpine, in trying to get past the Williams, I should say. Because he can't quite get past himself, can he? But Dominique, pace is strong. Around the outside goes the Alpine, maybe a little bit too deep, and needs to now try and set himself up for a good run onto the straight. Tiny last bike and Stuart Little coming together. Stuart Little sending it up the inside, but that was never, ever, ever going to work. And now all 3 of them have gone off the track on the exit. Both of them going for a nice little bit of a tandem spin, and Stuart Little actually gaining a position because of it in the DRS, though not using his ERS. He's closing on Domily, who goes defensive. Can Cali Rob find the space? No. He pulls to the right hand side. He's going to look to go all the way around the outside and does so. Swoops around the outside. The Aston Martin trying to keep it there. Is going to have to go for the switcheroo though, and might have in fact DRS for the counter attack. Going to use everything he's got left in his ERS tank on lap 15, pulling back to the inside, the left hand side towards turn 4, running absolutely on fumes when it comes to ERS. and gets himself ahead. Back into the race lead goes Domily, really fighting this very well. And while Cali Rob has got more penalties, Domily does not want to concede the position at all. Exotic looking to get himself into the top 2 as well, but can't quite find the gap in order to do so. Domily looking very strong though defensively. So through turn number 11 in towards 12, the penultimate proper corner. Well, the final proper corner, you could say. I mean, this one in the wet, the one on the straight is quite significant. In fact, it can be quite difficult. DRS open once again though. Cali Rob not quite closing enough to go for a move on Domily. In fact, you say that he is closing at a rate of knots. Looks to the inside, not quite going to go for it. The Alpine braking very late as well, practically now pushing Cali Rob through the centre S's. Now with 3 laps to go, 16, 17 and 18. DRS engaged for the Alpine, looking to go for the race lead. Here's Cali Rob though, using his DRS, pulls to the left hand side in towards turn 4. Not got the best angle at all. But as we go through, it's still Domily that leads the way. Now Cali Rob looking to the inside of turn 6, goes for it around the outside, goes the Aston Martin. The Williams still keeping it on the inside. The inside now for turn number 8. The Aston Martin still going wheel to wheel for him. It's going to be the inside again as they go through turn 9. The Alpine trying. The Williams around the outside. Still they can't quite get enough of each other. Both of these guys want the lead of the race. The Williams goes in a bit too deep. The Alpine trying up the inside. Made a bit of contact with Domily, who's managed to save a little bit of VRS. Goes very wide through turn 11 in the dirty air though. That's not going to help him. But the crucial thing is that he gets a good launch off this final corner, final proper corner, and up the hill towards turn 1. He's going to have the DRS, the drag reduction system, coming onto the penultimate lap. And of course Cali Rob with his penalty, he's closing Domily, he's pulled to the right hand side. Cali Rob defends, but can the Aston Martin sweep all the way around the outside? He's ahead going in, breaks late and claims the position for the race lead. With Exotic now trying to find his way through. How do penalties look for him? In fact, it's 5 seconds, so he does need to get through, and he is going to actually go for the move. Then pulls to the left hand side, but the slipstream that Cali Rob has just doesn't allow Exotic to pull out of the slipstream at all. As they go through turn 5, up the hill towards turn 6 for the second last time. It's all been kicking off at the front. We've sort of ignored this fight for P5 between Stuart Little and Tiny Darspike. Nothing really happened into turn 4, so we're going to jump back up to the race leaders, Domily, Cali Rob and Exotic. The Brit being chased down by the 2 Americans in the Williams and the Alpine. But he's doing an incredible job. Got the least amount of penalties of the bunch as well. So as long as he keeps himself composed. Tiny Darspike, another 3-second penalty heading his way. It's adding insult to injury. P3 and 5 for the Alpine boys at the moment. But Domily leads us on to the final lap then of this race. He's managed to save up a bit of ERS in order to defend with. Cali Rob definitely got the advantage in that respect though. He's closing as we come onto the final lap. Is it going to be enough for moving towards turn 1? It's going to be a bold lunge. Thinks about it. Doesn't quite commit though. As they go through turn 1, 2 and 3, the center S is once more for the final time. Exotic once again putting the pressure on and trying to go for the move, but Cali Rob just has the ERS to defend with, and Exotic just can't find the way through. He doesn't have the ERS, that clear advantage to sail past. And through the corners as Domily picks himself up another 3-second penalty that might have cost him the race win. Indeed it will have cost him the race win, so long as he can pull 1 second out on the guys behind. And he needs to. Exotic with another 3-second penalty, so Domily at the moment is in P2 with Cali Rob taking the win as it stands, but Domily needs to pull out 1 second as they cross the line if he wants to win this race. At the moment it's around about 8 tenths, 7 tenths as they go out of turn 11. 8 tenths. It's going to be very close. Cali Rob, I think, is going to have this one in the bag, so long as he doesn't make a mistake out of the final corner. Doesn't do so, and is in the slipstream. So Domily on the final lap, he coped brilliantly in order to win this race on track, but a final lap mistake is going to cost him this one. So it will be Cali Rob that takes the win then, ahead of Domily in second and Exotic in third. A great effort from Team GB. But in the end, he couldn't quite get it. Daced into P3 then as Exotic gets another penalty, which is a shame. So as well as Tiny Darspike into P5, Stuart Little down into P6, Cool Guy into P7 with Shady P8, and just well, going to be waiting quite a while for Stein's AI to actually find their way around the track. So we're going to be here for a while. So well-deserved podium, a double podium for Williams, and the Aston Martin up there as well, flying the British flag very, very proudly. But after 18 laps of very intense racing and one safety car, one VSC, and toss another bottled win in the drain, Cali Rob takes the win then ahead of Domi Lee and Dace rounding off the podium. It's then the other two Americans of Exotic and Tiny Darspike in P4 and 5, Stuart Little in P6 with Cool Guy in P7, Jody P8 and Stein in P9. The non-finishers though were Toss, Ver AA and his fellow German of New Jersey in the Red Bull. A lap 1 retirement saw a premature end to these guys. His race, Toss of course just bottling it on his own, but fastest lap for Domily and for Team GB. So after two very, very exciting races at the USA and now in Sao Paulo, it's been an absolute pleasure. That's round number 2 of the Nations Cup, and I'll see you next week for round number 3, the finale, where it was all decided, all on the line, and the Nation's pride and the Nations Cup is on the line. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I hope you have enjoyed. I've been Zach Sweeney, and this has been the CCR Nations Cup. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.